Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. And today, I want to talk to you guys about the big rumblings that are going on in the community with people talking about the rumors that the Boruto's anime is going to be ending this spring. And this time, my stance is going to be different than the one I took 2 years ago, where there was this huge freak out online that Boruto's anime was going to end at episode 246, which at the time I said it was all capped and that people didn't understand placeholder numbers meant for ordering anime episodes. This time, the discussion is one where there is some truth to it, but nothing's been confirmed yet. And also, given how many people have asked me to weigh in on this, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about more of the behind the scenes stuff on how anime is made, since understanding that is going to help you understand why there's even a talk of the Boruto anime going on a hiatus this spring, basically doing what Black Clover did, which also had production issues behind the scenes. I'm also going to leave a link to a very detailed article that has video examples that explains the different principles of animation, because it's 2023 and a lot of fans can't tell the difference between art and animation, but those same fans are also seeking out and harassing some of the animators that have worked on different episodes. So I hope as you go through this video and after you finish it that you click on that link and hopefully you learn a little bit more about how animation works. Now, you might be asking, why is Boruto's anime going to potentially be going on a hiatus if it's earning as much money as it does? Isn't it one of TV Tokyo's highest grossing and net profit series? Yes, in both of those cases. It's number 2 in both of those categories last I checked the earnings stuff, but it's not about money. If this decision does get made, which is still being discussed, this is more of an issue with production scheduling, which Boruto for the most part has always had issues with this, but the production schedule is extremely important. Proper scheduling means animators and the AD have time to do corrections. Proper scheduling can lead to more polishing of frames. Proper scheduling means that there's more compositing. This isn't about freelance animators being hired or trained up as the series is running, because Naruto's second anime, Naruto Shippuden, did this with some of your favorite animators from Shippuden being hired and brought along during the Shippuden run, with some of those iconic scenes being done by freelance animators who were being trained up. But even then, with Naruto Shippuden, you still had episodes that fell apart. Most famously, the Pain arc had episodes that had production issues. Ironically, it wasn't the Six Tails versus Naruto episode, but we'll touch on that later. That being said, I do want to say, if there is a hiatus and say Boruto's anime does come back as seasonal, that's not the answer a lot of you guys think it might be. I think a lot of that comes down to a lot of people have been spoiled by some of the seasonal productions that are standout productions, and they're not necessarily the norm for even seasonal anime. Seasonal doesn't automatically equate to, say, Jujutsu Kaisen level quality. To Your Eternity is a seasonal series, and season 2 of the anime, you can tell there are production issues. I love the series. There are production issues with it. There have been more than one episode in this current season that's fallen apart. The same with Tokyo Revengers season 1, which despite being seasonal, the production was average, was led to a lot of people complaining about the anime because the expectation for what seasonal is has been raised in recent years. Fixing scheduling means layouts, the rough key animation that the animator does before it's given to a more experienced animator or director to do corrections. Fixing scheduling means that you're also fixing color corrections. Realistically, a break for Boruto to fix production scheduling means best case is what Fairy Tail did both times that anime went on hiatus. The first time switching the secondary studio that was helping A1 Pictures, and the second time, it was meant to give the animators a break and allow the source material to finish. Basically, that led to a 1 and a 2.5 year break in both instances. It's not about budget like I see a lot of people say. And a lot of people say budget and they immediately think of dollars. When I say budget, and as I've said budget in the past, it's always about time. The comments that we got during the Funato Clan arc about all the budget went to Boruto's eyes, it shows a disconnect that most fans have to how anime is even created. It's not about budget, it's about time allotted. Look at the last episode. All the comments that we got about how all the budget went to Ada's eyes, it shows, again, ignorance on the part of fans. But the good thing about being ignorant is that it's not a bad thing, because there's always room to learn. It's only a bad thing when you stay willfully ignorant. The Ada comment proves what I've said for years. Anime fans will be happy if there are bright colors and a ton of compositing and the art matches the character models. Getting back to Boruto's anime though, Boruto's anime has had for a good while now more than its fair share of scheduling issues. Production time and scheduling matters, as does not running the animators into the ground because of poor scheduling. For as great as the 55 episodes were that we got for the car stuff and the 3-episode stretch for Boruto episode 216, 17, and 18, basically the Ishiki fight in the other dimension, Baryon mode versus Ishiki and Kurama dying, those 3 episodes had the most work done in the entire Naruto franchise. However, there was a blog by some of the anime staff that talked about how exhausted they were following all the work that went into the production of that entire arc. While episodes do get outsourced to other studios, there's usually always somebody from Studio Pierrot working with those other studios. As I said before, it's not about freelancers working on it. For instance, you could take Chung-Chi Wong, a legend who has worked on some of the most mouth-watering cuts in the second half of Naruto Shippuden and likely some of your favorite cuts from the Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki fight. If you tell him to do 26 to 30 cuts in 9 hours of time, or to only get 1 cut done in 15 minutes, even a legend such as that, for as talented as he is, he's gonna have issues. When you look at the Sasuke Retsunden episodes, would you believe me if I said that there are people who worked on Demon Slayer, Spy Family, and Attack on Titan who participated in the episode that Sasuke healed the wound on Minnow after sneaking into Zanso's office? Or even with this last Boruto episode, the same people who worked on the 20th anniversary Naruto preview that everyone was getting so excited about, and OP Destiny, they worked on the episode as well. It goes back to what I've been saying. You can have the most talented animators, but they have to have a proper production schedule or else they're not going to be able to show their talent. Koda, the man who's been getting slandered over the last episode, has worked on some of your favorite scenes in the entire Naruto franchise, like for instance, Kushina's death episode. Boruto's nightmare production schedule played a part in what we saw with some of the frames that people shared, like Elf Ear Naruto, Goblin Naruto. Though to be fair to him, he's consistently drawn ears that way. The lighting in the episode when Naruto was in the office, the shorter hair, the way too round face, that was likely a victim to a rush schedule, and that's likely something that might be corrected when you get the Blu-ray. However, the irony in this is that the same guy that everybody slandered was the same one that worked on the Ada scene that everyone went crazy over and worked on the Kawaki flashback episode. Koda getting slandered and attacked is wild to me when you consider how much work he's done with such an unhealthy schedule, from storyboarding to key animation to correction for 3 episodes back to back, starting with this episode, and likely he's not going to get credit for the next 2 episodes, and like he hasn't been credited for some of the better episodes in Boruto so far. To give a frame of reference, Naruto Shippuden episodes typically took about 3 months of work in order to produce. Shippuden episodes have roughly 3,000 to 4,000 drawings per episode. My Hero Academia Season 1 premiere had 7,000 different drawings and frames. But for further reference, that much hated Naruto Shippuden episode 167, Six Tails Naruto vs. Pain, had 6,000 frames in the first 7 minutes for an episode that took 6 months to produce, including animators who worked on One Punch Man Season 1 and worked on Yu Yu Hakusho. The first 100 cuts of the episode were made by one person, but that episode took 6 months to produce, whereas we have some Boruto episodes where as little as 15 minutes of time is allotted for a single frame. For every episode that we get, like say Boruto episode 175 that had the highest number of original cuts in the entire Naruto franchise at the time of airing, there were Boruto episodes that fell apart, like the ones that we got in the Funato Clan arc and some of the Himawari Academy arc episodes. But what doesn't get talked about is how some of those animators worked through health problems, or in one case was working with a broken hand or a broken wrist on top of a very short production schedule. With Boruto, again, it's not because it's a weekly anime. It's about the production issues in terms of time. There are other weekly anime that have better quality. The difference is that the production has been managed better. Other weekly anime are not asking someone to animate 30 panels in only 9 hours of time. They aren't asking their animators to do a complex layout with only 15 minutes to work on it. The fact some of those animators work that hard under such a grueling schedule, it shows the love that they have for the Naruto franchise. It's not just the freelancers who are being put on a short production schedule. Even the animators who worked on Naruto as far back as 2011 have been given shorter times. Anyone blaming Pierrot for outsourcing or using freelancers needs to take a step back. This isn't the first time that they've done so. This isn't the first anime to do so. And with some of the new staff, you've already seen what they can do when they have time to work on something. A perfect example being Mai Nakajima's work on the 20th anniversary preview and the work that she did on Boruto episode 204, with her strong point being character acting, which is something that a lot of anime fans do not give enough credit to. Character acting can make or break a scene. It's arguably more important than the Sakuga that you get during battle sequences. To go even further into this, I think some of this does go back to 2015, 2 years before you even got a Boruto episode 1. Boruto the movie was done on a very short schedule for a movie that either the director or one of the animators who worked on it mentioned offhand in one of the interviews that I read about how much the production schedule for the movie led to sleepless nights, and if I'm not mistaken, either almost sent them to the hospital or it did send them to the hospital for a time. The Boruto movie went on to become the highest grossing film in the Naruto franchise. Think about your favorite Naruto movie. Boruto the movie outgrossed it. I don't have any information on if that plays a part of it, but part of me does wonder if getting the highest grossing movie in the Naruto franchise on a shorter production schedule than desired made some people think maybe this pace could be kept up. Again, while I don't have confirmation, that's just an observation. I haven't asked any of the animators that I have spoken to privately, partly because none of those people worked on Boruto the movie. So it doesn't make sense to me to ask them something that they weren't actually a part of. Now, if we do end up with Boruto's anime going on hiatus, it's going to be for the better for both the well-being of the animators as well as for the animation for the series, because you saw the gradual decrease even with some of the most experienced animators. Taking 6 to 24 months off is a win and it's the right thing to do. However, I don't think you should expect the anime to come back with the quality that you see again with seasonal anime like Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't think you should get your hopes up. Studio Pierrot has shown more than once what they can do when they have time. Case in point, what you saw with Bleach's anime, where you have Sakuga cuts for the fights and a hefty dose of digital compositing, but there were some episodes where you look and things like character acting, it does leave something to be desired, but you can also see the passion that went into making the episodes themselves. I think the best case example of what Pierrot can do when they have time is not Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc like a lot of people point to because recency bias. I'll actually point you in the direction of another anime that they've done where they had a really good production schedule. Akudama Drive is a 12-episode series that Pierrot did back in 2020, which if you haven't seen it, again, I would recommend seeing that to get an idea of what Pierrot's animators can do with a healthy schedule. To restate, I think the more realistic expectation is what A1 Pictures did with the 3 Fairy Tail anime. The 2 breaks, they served the staff very well, with the second and the third Fairy Tail anime being better produced than the first one because of the better schedule that allowed the staff to flex their skills. I think that's what you should be hoping for. Finally, if the anime does go on break, it's not due to the anime being too close to the manga, but the benefit that you get is more time between where the anime goes on hiatus and the manga getting more chapters built up. If you enjoyed all the stuff with Car, the thing to keep in mind is that was 3 years worth of manga material being built up. A better schedule means we won't have as many instances like we did in the Funato Clan arc where animators after the episodes aired, after being attacked by fans, wrongfully and ignorantly attacked by fans, they shared their original layout work and you can see more detail than we got in the episode because the stuff was either simplified or was outright cut because, again, scheduling issues. Again, just to restate, there's no confirmation that there's a hiatus coming, but it's not off the table. It is being discussed. I have been told privately by somebody that this is a very real possibility. I can't say their name because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I can say there is conversation being had. And if the anime goes on break, I'm asking, hell, I'm begging you, do not attack any of the animators. Do not attack someone like, say, Honda, who's a script writer. And I'm going to close out on this, and this isn't necessarily for anybody that watches my channel because I know you guys are all classy individuals, but I do know that there are some people who aren't subscribed who watch stuff or the algorithm will bring them to a video. If you're somebody who in the past has made fun of, say, the Black Clover fandom for, oh, your anime got canceled, or if you're somebody who has made fun of, say, Bleach, like, oh, your anime got canceled, let this be a lesson to you. Even though Boruto's not being canceled per se, it's going on a hiatus in order to fix the production issues if this decision happens. Let this be a lesson to not throw stones.